how are you? Today I wanted to do a bit of a reality check video, and hopefully you'll find some comfort in this, you'll find some ideas, and it will just give you a bit of fuel and a reminder that you're doing the best that you can. So today I am on my own all day with the kids, which is not, it's, my goodness, it's nothing to be championed by any means, but Matt and I are both freelance and we usually juggle it between us. But over the next few days, he's doing a big filming gig, so he's not around. So he left very early this morning and I got the kids up and did breakfast and did the school run. I've done a big shop at the supermarket and I've just got my baby to sleep. Now, this reminds me of when my eldest, who's now 5.5, I was running my business. I had a business, but it was very, very early stages. So I'm talking back in 2015. And we didn't have any childcare, and Matt basically worked a lot. But also I had to work as well. So I had to find a way to work through this and get used to having so less time and have a baby that didn't sleep. And I hate it when people say the baby was really tricky, but it was a really full-on time. And I am not one of these people who's like, oh yeah, I just had 2 hours sleep last night and I'm fine. I really like and enjoy and need my sleep, let's just say that. So there is so much chat on the internet about people working around their children, running businesses, starting businesses on maternity leave, and that's all really commendable. But it can be really hard if you're in that place of being so tired, so overwhelmed, so much to do. You're trying to figure out little people in the mix. And it may not even be children. It might be, we might be in that sandwich generation where we're looking after elderly people, or maybe there's a cause that you're really helping, or something else is going on that really needs your attention. So basically in 2015, 2016, until about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through into 2017, we juggled it between us, but mainly it was me, and then my son went to nursery for 2 days. So effectively, I was running a business in nap times. And I don't say that as a badge of honor or anything particularly glamorously, because it didn't feel any of those things. It didn't. I wish I could go, oh my God, it was just amazing. And I felt like I had it all. No, none of that. So if you only have limited time in the day, and maybe the pandemic, maybe the current times have made you have to work in a different way. Maybe you're still homeschooling, maybe you're trying to do all the things, but you know that you have this project, this business, which we can say in a really lovely way, like it warms my heart. I feel like it's our vision, it's our purpose and all that sort of stuff. And I do absolutely feel that about my business. But also, I need it to be profitable. I need it to make money. And I think that's really important to remember as well. I saw somebody the other day say, gosh, I feel really awful sending invoices. I was like, I don't, because it's part of my business. It's a business. I would feel weird sending invoices to friends like, oh, I just took you out for a really nice glass of wine and I gave you loads of free advice. Here's your invoice. No, that's never going to happen. Of course it isn't. Okay, before we go on a different track, let me share a few things. So, as Luna has literally just gone down now, I could have probably anything between an hour and 2 hours, or sometimes she might do one of those freaky sleeps where she'll sleep for 3 hours and then I won't get much done because I'll be too busy checking that she's breathing and all of that. Anyway, number one, keep it really simple. So those days where you don't have support, those days when you're having to do all of the things, and maybe you don't have support. My goodness, that's so assumptive of me. That's not the word. Anyway, making an assumption. Keep it simple. So those people who say, well, after the school run drop off, we're all going for a coffee and we can do this and maybe you can do la 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 and let's all jump on. No, keep it simple. So many plans, logistics, it's full on as it is. So whatever you need to do in that day, do that. Just do that. That's enough. That's more than enough. And around this, we've done a supermarket shop and we're going to keep it really chilled. That's it. Number 2, food and stuff. And what I mean by stuff is maybe you've got stuff everywhere in your house like I have, and maybe you really need to eat properly to Thank you for sending all of this, but I am just going to, I'm just going to stop it a sec and then I'm going to come back to it. Thank you. Yes, I do understand the importance of that, absolutely. Just bear with me a sec. There we go. Thank you. So by keeping it really simple, by thinking about how you can take care of yourself in this, it's going to be really important. So I had a really good breakfast. I've got some good stuff in for lunch. I've got loads of snacks. These sort of things, you have to pay attention to your needs like a toddler. You wouldn't necessarily have a child all day and just go, I don't know, have we got anything in the fridge? I don't really know what we're doing. We have no plan. I've really had to take care of my own needs in this situation. So the time that I have available, I can really make it work for me. Okay. The next thing I want to say is the pressure to do everything in a nap time. It's a lot sometimes. So the pressure to sit down and go, right, I've got to write a really cracking blog post that is really going to connect and it's going to make sales because I need to make sales this month and because I need to do, your head can go to all the places basically. So one thing that I always recommend to clients is containers for ideas. So when you have that small limited time, that window available, you know what you're going to do with it. So for example, I might get ideas when I'm out shopping or at the park with the kids or sitting on the bus or walking home or wherever it might be. And so I have very specific areas on my phone where I capture those ideas. And sometimes, say I'm writing something, suddenly the 5 parts will come where I'm like, oh, I want to say that and I want to say that. Oh, that's going to be useful. Oh, right, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So by the time I actually come to write the thing and sit down and do it, a lot of the work has been done. So again, I have that clarity of thought. I'm not feeling foggy. I'm not feeling pressured. I'm not feeling like this blog post has to change the world or anything like that. And I can sit and I can focus. And I'm in support of myself, I guess, because I've done a lot of that work already. Number 4, know what you're doing. If you own, and I would say, operate with tasks with the bare minimum you've probably got available. So even though she may end up, because she's a bit snotty, have a 3-hour nap, which I don't really want her to, but she was up at 5:10, boring story, but there we go. I don't really want her to necessarily have that big 3-hour sleep, but I'm not going to prep, 3 hours of work because again, we're going back to feeling good. If you prep for 3 hours of work and you can't do it in support of myself, I know, absolutely. And it's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. So knowing what you're doing and knowing what your tasks are. So I might have an hour's worth of tasks to do or things that I want to focus on. And the worst thing for me is if I don't have a purpose, if I have a window of time, because I can faff about and I catch myself sometimes like, why am I putting these photos in this frame right now when I actually need to send something? Why am I not doing the thing in what I need to do? So knowing what you're doing, having a plan, and also, again, being in support of yourself, having something to tick off. So at the end of the session, when your baby or, whenever that finishes for you, then you go, well, I did 2 things today. Great. And when you do two things, it builds momentum. It moves your business forward. And you're in that place of it feeling real and it feeling good and all of that. Number 5, I've got just 2 more. Number 5, focus on doing it once. So sometimes what I would do is when I would, for example, I'd be writing, this was in a time where it was all about collaboration, and it was writing on other people's blogs, and it was about being interviewed, and it was about being seen, I guess. There was a lot of like, name 3 things you couldn't live without, and everybody was sharing all of that kind of content. Videos weren't really in at that stage in terms of Instagram. It was very long form. It was about copy, and it was just about images, I guess. So I spent a lot of time writing these beautifully constructed individual things. And I was sometimes repeating myself a little bit, but I was basically reinventing the wheel. So now I guess what my mission is how can I focus on doing it once and building on it? So if there's a way that I can flip it and I can go, right, and so this has been golden for me in terms of results, and what I recommend to clients is those PDF documents that you can share what you do and what you're all about. Like I have a speaker one. And so every time that I send that out, for example, if I'm sending out a pitch, I can do a really lovely, snappy paragraph which is personalized, but then I have this glorious document which I can attach, which speaks for itself. So the time that I'm spending on the task, I can actually do lots of them because I've put those foundations in place. Now the foundations in place, but doing the speaking PDF is not necessarily what you want to do. And sometimes at the time you're like, oh my goodness, this has taken 3 nap times to do. And I haven't focused on, this is the only thing I've done this week. You will have weeks like that. But I tell you what, that speaking PDF has paid me over maybe not hundreds of times, but hundreds of pounds worth of time, thousands of pounds times. So it's those things that are really going to move the needle, and they're going to really take care of yourself. Number 6, reality check. This has been so useful when I get in my head of feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, not enough, I haven't done enough, I'm trying to do all of the things. And do you know what? That phrase, I guess my granny always used to say it, like there's always somebody worse off in the world than you. And that always comes back to me, because I always think like, yeah, there are people who, struggle with reading and writing, or they're in a difficult relationship, or they are worried about how they're going to feed their children, and so many different things. I can't list them all, but there's so many other circumstances around that. So sometimes I have to have a word with myself and go, why am I letting myself get in this story of, I can't, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm this and I'm that. And I'm not saying that my feelings and your feelings are not valid, but I know also that negative self-talk doesn't help me. So sometimes it is that moment, if I'm in that headspace, which quite often I was in 2015, 2016, 2017, is sometimes the best use of my time, that first 10 minutes that I have available in nap time, is to make myself a good brew and probably an excellent snack. Because that sets me up, it grounds me, it centers me. We've all been to those classes, haven't we? Or we've all been in environments where somebody runs in late and they're like, hi, sorry, I was going to, the bus was late and I don't really know what I'm doing. And and then I got rained on. And my instinct when I see somebody like that is I always want to go, look, can I take your bag? Not take your bag, but like, can I get you something? Do you need to go to the loo first? Like, do you need a moment? What do you need? Because that sense of, is not necessarily a place to create from. But equally, I know sometimes if you're like, I've only got 57 minutes and I've probably got about 90 minutes of stuff to do, you also need to do that as well and crack on. So hopefully that has been useful. If you've got any pointers, if you want to share anything underneath of stuff that's helped you, I'm sure everybody would love to read it and hear it. And I think sometimes there's just that understanding that most people, even though the internet glamorizes it, most people are just doing their best and working with what they've got. And it can be really easy to judge what you're doing, your project, your creativity, your productivity against somebody else's, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You're so welcome. Thank you for being with me. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors, and there's definitely been times where I have had more capacity and there's less capacity. Like my daughter now is nearly 2 and she's going to start nursery in a couple of months, doing 2 days. And actually over this last couple of months, there's part of me that doesn't want to be on my phone while she's just watching telly or having a snack. Like I want to enjoy these moments with her. But that, you know, when she goes to nursery, then I'll get cracking and I'll do all the things. Maybe. We'll see. Let's see if she likes it. Good to know that we're all working so hard and it's hard for all of us. I think so. I think there's a spectrum, isn't there? And I tell you what, throw in a bit of tiredness, throw in a bit of, you know, snot and kids being up all night and a global pandemic, you know, we're doing our best. But also I think it's really important, like the Brené Brown quote, that we have to be in the game. We have to be in the game as women and be in the conversation and ask for what we need and get the support as well, because there's a pay, you know, I have a boy and a girl now and there's a pay gap. Like it seems crazy that my son would get paid whatever it is 20% more than my daughter. Like that just seems nuts to me. So on those days where I need to dig deep, I think it is about connecting to that vision for me. Like, what do I want to put out into the world? Why am I here? What's my mission? All the things. Anyway, thanks for being with me. Lots of love, and I'll catch you soon.